A public inquiry into the police shooting of a drug suspect 7 years ago has been shown. Previously undisclosed footage of the video, filmed during the police surveillance operation in North London in 2005, recorded the volley of shots which killed 24-year-old Azelle Rodney, who was in the back seat of a car. Investigations cleared officers of blame, but laws protecting covert information prevented an inquest ever taking place. Here's our Home Affairs correspondent, Simon Israel.
7 years it's taken for Azelle Rodney's mother to arrive at this building today to witness the opening of an unprecedented, judge-led inquiry into how and why her son was shot dead by police in April 2005. It has replaced an inquest because the covert information that led to the 24-year-old's death was deemed too sensitive for a coroner or the public to see. Intelligence suggested, the inquiry heard, that Mr. Rodney and two others in the car were armed with machine guns, and they were on their way to Edgware in North London to rip off Colombian drug traffickers of their cocaine. Dramatic footage filmed from one of the surveillance cars was shown to the inquiry. It recorded the volley of 8 shots fired by one officer and will be analysed frame by frame in the coming weeks. The inquiry has so far refused to release it, but the details are clear. Azelle Rodney was a rear seat passenger in a silver VW Golf being followed by 4 unmarked police cars. When the Golf slowed down at a roundabout, the police carried out a hard stop. The lead car moved in front, blocking its path. The blue-coloured car tried to move alongside, while the third car shunted the Golf from behind. Officer E7 was sitting in the front passenger seat of that car and opened fire almost immediately through his open window at Mr. Rodney sitting in the back of the VW. He's hit 6 times, 4 in the head. He was unarmed, but handguns were found in the car. A cloak of anonymity will allow E7, the firearms officer, and uniquely 5 police and customs intelligence officers to give evidence about that operation.
The fact that it has taken 7 years for this inquiry to be held has meant that potential failings that could have been identified may well have resulted in other deaths occurring. And we know that with the case of Mark Duggan, that his death, his shooting, took place in very similar circumstances.
Mr. Duggan was killed with a single police bullet during a hard stop in Tottenham. His death led to the riots. So far the laws have prevented a coroner from viewing sensitive police intelligence. The Azelle Rodney inquiry offers a way round the problem, but it may mean a long wait.
An inquiry has been shown video footage of the moment armed officers surrounded a car in North London and shot one of the passengers dead. Azelle Rodney was hit by 6 bullets and died instantly when the vehicle was stopped in North London 7 years ago. 3 guns were found in the car. A judge-led inquiry is being held into Mr. Rodney's death rather than an inquest because sensitive evidence is being heard. Our Home Affairs correspondent June Kelly is at the inquiry in central London. June.
Well, Kate, this footage was filmed by a Scotland Yard officer who was in the police convoy. You don't actually see the shooting, but you do hear the shots ring out. The inquiry also saw highly distressing images of the aftermath of the shooting, the blood-soaked seat where Azelle Rodney had been sitting. Now, his mother, Susan Alexander, chose to leave the court when those images were shown.
Azelle Rodney was 24 when he was shot dead by police. One officer fired 8 bullets. 6 hit him in the head and body. For his mother, Susan Alexander, this inquiry is the start of the first public hearing into his death.
Susan, can we just ask you what you're hoping for from today?
For 7 years, she's been fighting to find out why her son was shot. The Crown Prosecution Service said in 2006 that there was insufficient evidence to bring charges against any police officer. The following year, a coroner said an inquest could not take place because he wasn't allowed to have access to sensitive intelligence information. Instead, this inquiry was set up, which will hear some, but not all, of the intelligence evidence. In April 2005, firearms officers were following a car in Mill Hill in North London. They believed the 3 men inside were on their way to rip off a gang of suspected Colombian drug dealers at gunpoint. There were 4 police cars involved, and they carried out what's called a hard stop on the car, a Volkswagen Golf. Azelle Rodney was sitting in the back.
It was an officer known as E7 who fired the fatal shots.
The police car he was in had stopped and he was in the front passenger seat. His window was on a level with one of the windows in the Golf, and it was from that position that he opened fire. Today, counsel to the inquiry, Ashley Underwood QC, said, when armed police shoot someone dead, the incident inevitably raises important questions about how forcefully we expect police to protect us. The criminal law provides for the use of force. The question, of course, is what is reasonable in a given situation. Firearms were found in the car, but Azelle Rodney didn't have a weapon in his hand when he was shot. The marksman who killed him will be among those to testify in the coming weeks.
Well, that officer will give evidence from behind a screen. Amongst the others to testify at this inquiry will be the two men who were in the car with Azelle Rodney when he was shot. They were later jailed for firearms offences. Kate.
June, thank you.